Okay, so the purpose of this video is going to be to kind of stretch out the possibilities that we can do for this proposal. So this video is really looking to make things easy for you for A3, like as easy as they can be. Obviously, everything's going to require some work and research and critical thinking, but just kind of giving you a nudge in a general direction on people you can start writing to and what you can write to them to ask them to do. I think giving this a little more broader and more flexible treatment will really be beneficial for how you go about crafting A3. So this video is going to talk about that, and stay tuned until the end because there will be a question you'll need to respond to in your discussion post for the week. And so again, just to remind you, this video should be watched after the A3 rhetorical situation video. So if you haven't watched that one yet, check that out before checking this one out. Great, so let's get started. All right, so let's start out. Who is the audience and what's the purpose of A3, just to kind of remind us. So remember that our audience is going to be a real person in a position of power, the head of a company, the CEO, a government official. Just kind of start thinking about people that you could write to, real people of real organizations, with the purpose being that you're trying to convince that person of power or person that is capable of implementing change because of their social status that they should implement the solution you are proposing. So you're proposing a solution, but the purpose is to convince that person to accept the solution that you are proposing. So let's think about who we can propose to. Heads of organizations, city officials, specific people in government. Those are kind of the traditional, more formal ideas of a proposal. But to make this kind of easier, not easier, more flexible, I think that's a better way of saying it, and maybe more relevant, and just kind of to ease the burden of writing maybe, government policy documents and things like that. We can kind of start thinking about who we can propose to in terms of like celebrities and artists and social media influencers, especially in a time when we're, so online and so plugged in because of our certain situations. That could be a great opportunity, as exigent as that is. Really trying to get outside the box. So celebrities, artists, people online, anybody that is capable of making a change is really important. And so then you can kind of start relating this to what can we propose to, start drawing the lines together. So, or what can we propose for? So we've got who we can propose to, maybe some celebrities, maybe some artists. You can ask, why wouldn't you be able to, propose for a social media campaign from an Instagram influencer, or a marketing campaign to promote this sort of wind energy for this sort of company, or this beach cleanup day, something like that, getting a celebrity to start a marketing campaign for the harmful effects of factory farming, something along those lines. You can propose for program implementations that are designed for advocacy awareness, things that will increase more awareness, maybe writing to the dean of student affairs to have a different training platform in the beginning of everyone's college career, specific implementation of ideas. These are just some possibilities to kind of work with. But you got to keep in mind that proposals are about practicality and possibility. So it's got to be something that you think you can actually be able to pull off and argue for, in that, you got to start thinking about budget, and you got to start thinking about all these other factors that go into it though. Can this actually be pulled off? How much is it going to cost? How many people are going to have to be involved? You're on a strict timeline. You've only got about 3 weeks to do this. So choose something you can think you can accomplish without overwhelming yourself. Don't try to figure out how to claim that you can come up with $10 million for CSU to renovate their food systems. This is not going to happen. It's not going to be very feasible. Ask yourself what could be pulled off. Since our audience is a real person, a stakeholder, we can go about finding out what they value in a really kind of cool way and very specific way, since they're real people and they should exist. And so in order to figure out what your stakeholders value as people, you might have to do a little digging. So figuring out what your audience values, you can go onto social media and figure that out pretty easily. And you can find interviews and things along those lines. So everyone who is in a position of power, a celebrity, an artist, a city official, they have a virtual self and they have an online existence. They have social media accounts, they have published accounts of interviews, they have LinkedIn's, things like that. So use this to your advantage. Research your audience a lot for this. Show your stakeholder that you understand what they value in a way that's effective. Who did they donate to? What are they posting about? Who are they interviewing with? Who are they getting coffee with? This information is all readily available. So here's a nice little way of kind of figuring out how to go about and figuring out who your audience is. You can look on social media websites, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, personal, company, organizational websites. Does this person have a personal website that shows their views? Are they part of an organization? What organizations are they part of? What values do those have? What are they saying in interviews? YouTube would be a great place to look for these as well. These are just some kind of different ways of going about figuring out who you can write to and how you can go about finding out what they value so you can appeal to them a little bit stronger. And so that's a good place to get started on thinking about who you're going to write to and who you're going to propose to. So, like I said before, what I want you to add on to your discussion post in about 100 to 150 words after you talk about the skate park proposal, I want you to kind of brainstorm for 100 and 150 words about what you're thinking about proposing, how you're thinking about narrowing your issue down, who you're thinking about writing to based on this kind of more flexible approach to writing a proposal. So be sure to add on that to the end of your discussion post in 100 and 150 words so I know that you watch the videos and engage with this material. And always feel free to ask me some questions, and I look forward to reading your posts.